Hello everybody, so today I'm going to be talking to you about my experience of living in student accommodation. Last year, for my first year, I lived in student accommodation at my university, and I know it's getting back to school uni season, so I thought I would film this video for you because I wanted to film it because I had quite a good experience in my student accommodation. Like, it was an experience, so I wanted to share some like do's and don'ts, some advice, a bit of a chat, just a bit of a chat video for you. I've got my notes written down on a piece of paper, so if I'm looking down, that is why. But yeah, I'm just gonna have a little chat with you. So I lived in a 9-person flat on my student accommodation. My student accommodation was on my campus that I went to uni on, so literally it was like a minute walk on a morning, which was amazing because I could get out of bed so late. It was lovely. But yeah, I lived in a 9-person flat. It didn't look like a flat, it looked more like a house, which was nice because it felt quite like more homely than what a flat would, if that makes sense. I lived with 7 girls and 2 boys, which was really oddly mixed because like the houses that there was, like in our set of flats there was 4 in a big row, and like some of them had more girls than boys, but it was just weird how they'd done it. But yeah, I lived with 7 girls, 2 boys. And we found each other on the group chat beforehand. That is one of the main tips I'd say if you're going to uni. Go on to Facebook and find the group chat of your house, because that's where I found mine and that's how I started talking. And I feel like it made it less awkward when I like first met them, because when I first met my flatmates, like I felt like I kind of already knew them because they'd been talking to me in the group chat. So I felt like I knew some of them already, so it wasn't as weird when I first met them. So yes, I definitely suggest going onto the group chats and finding your flatmates, because it just makes it a hell of a lot easier, because you can kind of have a little stalk of who you're going to be living with and see what they're like and see whether they're like you. Also, before I went, I had to fill in like a little questionnaire of what kind of people I like to live with. So I put fairly tidy and fairly sociable, which some people in my flat put same as me, but some people put the complete opposite, like they put like really like loud and like stuff like that. So it's a complete mix. Like, you'll just get a complete mix who you're with, and it's sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad, but in my case it was good. Like, it did work out. I definitely suggest when you're moving as well to definitely leave your door open. Like, get a door, like stop and leave your door open, because that was the way that I first started talking to my flatmates. Even though I'd like met them or spoke to them on Facebook beforehand, I left my door open when I was moving in, and then that invited them to like say hi if they're walking past, or I'd like say hello, I'd go introduce myself, which is what I did. And it was just nice because it just felt like people actually want to speak to you. Like, don't shut yourself off because it makes you look a bit like, I don't want to speak to you, which is not what you want, because you want to get to know your flatmates, because you are going to be living with them for a year. Also, another thing, you don't have to get on with your flatmates. Like, you can just go sit in your room. Like, it's completely up to you. Like, you don't have to get along with them. But I was just very lucky in the fact that I got along very well with some of my flatmates. Not all of them, which we'll get on to in a second, but some of them I do love to bits, and I still live with them, because 3 other girls I lived with last year I do live with now, and they're like the best people in my life possibly ever. So yeah, I was very lucky with the fact that I met like my best mates at uni. We'll go on to the one housemate that I didn't get on with, a little lovely girl called what name shall we give her? Lottie. We'll call her Lottie. I'm not going to give her, that's not her actual name, but I'm just going to call her Lottie. I'm not going to tell you her actual name. But she was, well, was she? I think she was 22. She was a lot older than us, but she was living in accommodation. Bearing in mind, we were all like 18, 19, like just finished college, like come off a gap year, whatever we'd done. Like, we were quite young, and she was very old. Well, not very old, but like older than us lot. And she just made life miserable, like, not gonna lie. Like, she'd have like her friends round and they'd all be in the kitchen, and I just felt really awkward to like go have my tea or eat, or just sitting there with the rest of my flatmates and talk. Like, I felt weird talking to her, and like, she used my shower one time and used all my stuff, which I wasn't happy about, and she was very loud, she smoked, she was just, I just didn't get on with her. Like, our just personalities just didn't click. Also, as well, I remember one time she came up into my flatmate's room to sign something we ought to sign, and she didn't have any pants on. Who walks around with no pants on when you don't know someone? It's a bit odd. It's just a bit weird. We saw her vagina, let's just say that, but it was just very weird. And then, thankfully, a couple of months later, she did move out. Like, she didn't tell us, she just moved out. We just assumed because the stuff was that, like, she'd left pots and pans, but she'd just gone, like, her room was dead, like, no one there. And she then went on Twitter and had a go at us saying that we'd bullied her, we'd, like, left her out. Excuse me, hun, but did you get yourself involved? No, you didn't get yourself involved, did you? And you was just with your friends, and your friend was living in your room, and we were paying rent and you wasn't, and it was just all mess. Basically, it was just a big mess. But yeah, she finally moved out, which we were very happy about. Then we got another housemate. She was lovely. I mean, we didn't really speak to her much, but she was just there. It was just nice to have people our age that was on our wavelength, kind of. It was also nice having boy housemates. It was an experience because I've never lived with boys that were like similar age to me. Like, I lived with my brother and my dad. Obviously I've got my mum and sister as well, but like they're the only two boys that I live with, and because they're like, my brother's younger than me, my dad's like 40 something, it's like, it's a different experience living with them to living with like boys my age, especially because they're so good looking. It would just like, I'd feel like I couldn't come down sometimes with like no makeup on, even though I did still come down looking a mess, like after when I was hungover or if I was just tired. To be honest, I look a mess 24/7, but I'd still come down looking a mess and I just wasn't bothered. But yeah, that was an experience of living with boys. It was also a bonus when they brought the friends round, because they both did sports courses, and some of their mates was beautiful paintings. They were. But yes, that's, if you do live, it's not the end of the world if you live with boys, because sometimes it can be a good thing. What the next thing I've wrote down? The next thing I wrote down advice is to be 100% truthful. Like, you'll get found out if you lie. Like, just be 100% truthful about your past, like where you live, what you've done in your past, like, because you are going to be living with them for a year. They're going to get to know what you're like, so you might as well just be honest with them. Like, another story time's coming up in the future as well. I didn't actually tell my housemates about my YouTube channel. I kept it a secret because I'll just put it short, I was bullied at high school for it and college, and I just felt like I didn't want to tell them until I knew them properly, which I will get on to a story time of that. So if you want to see that, just comment below and I will do a story time on that. But anyway, yes, you just need to be 100% truthful because you are going to be living with them, so you might as well just be truthful with them. Another one is clean up after yourself. Now, I had a bit of an OCD phase of, oh my god, people need to clean up after themselves. As long as you clean up after yourselves, no one can have a go at you for leaving your messy stuff on the side. Just be clean. Just be a clean person. That's all I'm saying. Also, you have to like get your own section in the kitchen, like, because the kitchen's very communal. I had like a cupboard down below, a little drawer for all my cutlery, and I had my own section in the fridge. It's also good to keep that in mind so you know how much space you have for when you're buying food. Another thing, fire alarms will always go off at stupid times because people, when they're drunk, think it's funny to cook something or just set them off as a dare when they're having pre-drinks or when they've come back after. So at like 5 AM, 3 AM, you'll just get woken up by the fire alarm and you've just got to go outside in next to nothing or whatever you've been wearing to bed. It's just a norm. It's just seen as something funny at uni, which is really not that funny because you're getting everyone out of bed and everyone's going to be annoyed at you. We set off ours off quite a few times anyway because of when we were cooking, especially when we were cooking sausages, the fire alarm would always go off and everyone would be like, oh, it's done for again. That was what our house was called. But it's done for again, and we'd just be like, oh, whatever. But yeah, fire alarms do have a tendency to go off, so pre-warning. Just get to know your fire alarm, because the first time I heard it, I was like nearly shit myself, and I was just like, what is that noise? But yes. Ours also had a fire drill I think it was every Tuesday at 10 AM, which was okay because I had a lecture at 9 AM, so I was up anyway, but like people in my house weren't up, so they had to come out in pyjamas, which is not the funniest, especially when it's cold or it's raining. But yes. Living with strangers is going to be a weird experience. Like, I've lived with my parents all my life, so it was weird moving out and moving in with people that I didn't know. But like I said, as long as you're like social, you're honest with them, like you get to know them, you get to know whether you clash or whether you're like friends, and it's just a really good experience. Like, I'm so happy that I moved out because I wasn't going to go into student accommodation. I was going to commute from home, but I'm so glad that I did because I've made the best friends I could ever have. And if I hadn't moved out, I wouldn't have met half of the people that I've met, and I'm so glad that the people I've met are in my life. Also, as well, you need to respect where you live in, because my neighbours wasn't the best at respecting my area. One of them next door I think he had a little crush on me, and he got one of his friends to write a note and put it in my letterbox, which was it was just a weird. And then we'd wake up after nights out and there'd be like food outside our house, they'd thrown eggs at the windows, they'd been shouting all night. They can be a bit leery, some people get put off by it, but you've just got to like brush it off and just be like, yeah, whatever, to be honest, because you know some people are just a bit weird when they're drunk. You get used to it. You will always appreciate as well how much your family did for you when you move out, because I never realised until I moved out how much my parents did for me. Like, they did so much for me that it was actually like a shock to the system when I moved out and realised I had to do this stuff myself. Like, I had to like keep buying washing up powder and liquid, I had to do my own washing, I had to like iron my clothes, I keep on top of buying food. Buying food for one person, I'm not joking, it's the most stressful thing, because I feel like I always overcook and then I've got to make leftovers, and it can be a bit stressful adult life, so it's just adjusting to fending for yourself. Also with freshers, enjoy freshers while you can, because freshers is, honestly, I'm getting cramp in my leg. Freshers is the best experience ever. Like, it's so fun. Like, we didn't go out every night in freshers, or I don't know how I could go out every night in freshers, but it was a good experience. I did meet loads of new people. That's what freshers is really about, just getting to know people, having a good time, drinking loads. But also another thing, you don't have to drink if you're not a drinker. Like, I didn't drink a lot before I came to uni, and now I drink a lot. But like, it's not the end of the world if you don't drink. Like, you don't have to drink. Like, you're not gonna get forced. Like, I thought uni was just a big piss up, which technically it can be sometimes, but it doesn't have to be if you don't drink. Like, you don't have to drink, please don't. And please don't let people peer pressure you either, that's another thing. Do you, don't let anyone peer pressure you. There's another thing to go along with freshers, and that is chunder chats and shag chats. I've seen many of them in my time of going to people's houses, and I had one in mine. I don't actually know who lost on mine. I had quite a few on mine. I think one of the boys had the most because they drank a lot. But yes, they are inevitable. You will be on one. My room didn't get any action, so I wasn't on the shag one, but I was on quite a few on the chunder because I'm a lightweight, so fun times. And the last thing really is just to enjoy your experience. Like, you're only going to be a uni once, you're only going to be a fresher once, you're only going to be a first year once. Enjoy it, because it's honestly the best thing I've done in my life. Like, it was such an experience, like, it was so much fun, and I wouldn't change it for the world, to be honest. Like, yeah, I did make some mistakes, I did have some regrets, but I'm not going to change them. So yes, I'm just getting cramp in my foot, I'm trying to like massage it as I'm talking to you. But yes, anyway, that is my advice video for you. I am going to be filming some more videos relating to uni. I might be doing like a uni morning routine, like what's in my uni bag when I go back. And I think I'm going to be vlogging as well, which is exciting. Vlogging my uni days. So yes, anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Oh, yes.